just a little bit blue here. And it's really good if you can just mix things here. It really gives some nice look. Watercolor is really good when you just do not care. It's not the right word, but it really explains the best. Just be very relaxed and trust the process. And of course, practice just brings you that level. And whatever I have warm here, maybe red. Yeah. See, not just caring about. And I know it's gonna dry much lighter, so I'll try to add some more blue, especially in the top part. Yep, and then I come down, you see, leaving those small areas, and you can apply some color. This process is just color process. You can add some reds, you can add some pinks, whatever you gonna have in your painting, but not too much. I try to cut these parts out as much as I can because I think yeah, that should be okay. Now if I get that my meridian actually, maybe here. Okay, and then now we go into the water, and I do the opposite. You see this darkest part of the sky, or more pigment was there, and I do the opposite here. It's much lighter here, and then slowly more pigment and more colors. And especially you need to build the tone, the volume, the water surface approaching to you. It just starts to get darker and darker with a nice transition. It's the only part actually I do when I'm painting. When it comes to water, I try to get the only tonal part in the sky actually, and the water, not just water. That's the part you need to have a little bit of nice volumetric effect there, as you see, because you're gonna build on top later. It's better to have it in at the first wash, so you can always come back and use that without too much of an effort. So to do this, you need to get a nice synthetic brush and just much less water. When it's drying, it's not a good idea to touch there. So that's why I just sprayed a little bit, and I'm not touching that much. Actually, before it dries, I might get a little synthetic brush, very clean, and just get a napkin just to get the water out. I don't want it to drip down, and try to get back some of my highlights on the water. This is just a fast process. If you're a little bit late of this, maybe like 10-20 seconds later, maybe like kind of buildings, I like to use the synthetic brush actually. It's hard, it's nice, it's solid. I don't need too much softness. So I have a warm with burnt sienna and cool with cobalt. And I keep actually changing these depending on my hues. It's really nice to have this hue change once in a while when you're painting. It's really nice to a little bit of hue change. It just gets this boringness out of this. Maybe I can just lift this again. It's really nice to run down. Just keep it a little bit wet. You go to the bottom, just darkening it a little more. As you see, I'm trying to cut these shapes again. So I have one of my brushes loaded with more cools, and the other one is with warm, so I can just touch it before it's too late. Again, I told you I'm going to treat this as one shape, so you don't want to get lost again. It's very easy to get lost in this part and try to do everything you see. That's why I'm not looking at the reference photo. I tried to already put this in my head so I don't do the mistake. Oh, too much paint. I'm trying to separate this tower a little bit as much as I can. It's actually getting too clean. Actually, I just splash some water. I really don't care if it screws up the painting. In the long term, I believe it doesn't add much more. All right, let's go back. I don't want it to dry. The worst thing can happen again, you know it. Everybody says this. You experienced it probably. Them to dry. So you don't want that drying. So you see, just don't be too neat. It's actually not a good idea to do a painting that you haven't done before as a tutorial, because when you're talking you forget things, and it's really a good idea to at least have these paintings done so you can keep talking, and you'll still manage to remember the small things that might get lost because you keep talking. So I'll try to keep this part maybe with red. Some, I'm not sure actually. I probably use my red transparent pile orange probably I have here. And this red just can bleed. It's good to mix things. It's good to have them just touch each other, because what makes watercolor different from most of the other mediums is this. And also it's like a cheating. You're not sure what you're gonna do, just drop it in. You see how I'm really painting recklessly. Do not really care what is in here. I just keep connecting things, right? Everything you see is partially connected. And the thing here is how it's going to dry, right? I really want this building to be a little bit might be another building here. Okay. So again, I'm forgetting my rule, do not touch it. Let it dry. And then maybe later you might come and try to point some more detail in the background. Light is shining, it's hard to see, but I'm trying to at least make the building come to life a little bit more. No. Right. Okay. I believe this will be helping me to have my one middle ground shape on the background. I mean midtone in the background. This is one big shape, and then midtones, and also it will be a backdrop. And you know what I can do, which is the perfect time. The painting is not drying, not dried, drying. You see this? Before it dries, bring me back my mask. All right, beautiful. Because these guys are gone, they're gone. And then get some shapes if you can. Mostly for the board part. Alright, you're gonna have some stuff on the boards. Got this one here. Alright. So let's wait this to dry. And then we come back for the bows, for the reflections. And I will actually just try to soften these things. Alright, let's wait for it to dry and then let's come back to it. Three times around, then you just add those lines right away without even thinking. So I can actually start adding those waves around. Not too dark, but so probably another reflection needs to be here. Yep, it's good enough. And I believe this parts need to be pushed back a little bit. But actually, it's looking so good, so I'm not really sure if I should do that. But you know what? It's a tutorial. It's not a masterpiece, so I'll just show you to add a little bit of Chinese white. And every time I do a demo, oops, perfect. Every time I do a demo, I need this because you're talking, you're thinking different things. You don't really concentrate on sometimes making things like some details. All details here just gonna have a highlight on it, but the problem is you should not paint them one by one. You should always just get a spot and get a couple dots, and that should just do the trick, because if you try to do them all, you will get lost, you will get like overwork with, and it will look very less pleasant that you can ever even picture it. So I going to add those reds here with those just one of those things, and just a little bit of reflection. I think that's good enough for this painting. Maybe actually a small bird wouldn't hurt. It should get a smaller brush again. I think the sky, like this splash like that before, could turn into the birds. Yes, I think I'm done. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial too. I think I'm still happy with the background, but I might get a knife and actually just try to scratch these ropes at the end to get them more light. Just to show, but again, not too much. Because when you start adding things too much, like gouache or like those knife palettes and everything, just scratching them, it just makes this nice look go away. So I think I'm gonna keep it as it is. I hope you guys enjoyed it.